Alright guys, today's the day. We're officially going drifting in the 2JZ E36. We're on our way to the track right now. We're about halfway there. It's 2 hours from home. We got Sam going with us. We got Piper in the back. We're going to be camping and it's going to be a good time. So I've never actually been to this track before, but Michael has, and he says it's pretty awesome. And it's actually the closest track to my house now. I'm excited to see what it's like, and there's actually a casual competition, just a top 16 only with a $20 buy-in. So I'm gonna try to do that. Hopefully the turbo's working on the car, and hopefully we don't break it the first lap out. But I guess we'll see you guys when we get to the track. For that part. Yeah. Looks like it made a little smoke. Oh yeah. Woo! Got the adrenaline pumping now. Oh yeah. It's I could tell like it kind of died when I was handbraking. Yeah. But I just clutch kicked it and it came back to life, so I think I could drive around that part. Unless I have to slow down a shit ton behind somebody. But even then, as soon as I dump the clutch, it should start back up. It was very sloppy. Yeah, but it was a good first run. The power was there. Yeah. Alright, so a lot of things went wrong in this run. Obviously, the first was the main diff bolt breaking. Well, when that broke, it caused the front of the diff to raise up and hit my handbrake line. So it put a hole in my handbrake line and took that out. And of course, you can't get 3AN lines anywhere local, so that was out for the rest of the weekend. The other thing was the power steering line blew off. Because it was just made with low pressure AN lines. I didn't have any high pressure stuff at the time, and so it blew off. I drove without power steering for a while, but I ended up putting it back together towards the end of the day. So here you can see the broken diff bolt. These diffs are actually notorious for having a weak front bolt because they're originally threaded into the diff from the factory. I already drilled it out and put a through bolt in with a nut, but obviously I didn't use a strong enough bolt and it still snapped. So I ended up running to Ace Hardware, grabbed a thicker, heavier grade bolt, drilled it out a little more, stuck that in, and it was good for the rest of the weekend. So simple fix, better than blowing up the drive shaft or something.
After the finish line, I put it in fourth and just clutch kicked it and just roasted the tires all the way around the bank.
It was fun. It was great. Whew. You deserved it though. You made it through.
The no power steering sucks ass.
Were you still able to do what you needed?
The first one, I went off on that cliff. It was sketch.
We went down the cliff.
But
then we went again. He did good.
If I get used to it, I think it's drivable, but it's not reliable.
Yeah.
handbrake there.
And right there, axle number 2 just snapped. So a good tech tip for you guys, if you break an axle, when you hit the gas, the car pulls to one side. So that's an easy way to tell if your axle's broken. Clearly that one is, and as you can see, it almost put me into the wall. I probably shouldn't be clutch kicking in 3rd gear on that hairpin, but the shifter is really crappy, and I had a hard time shifting, so I was trying to avoid downshifting. But yeah, goodbye axle. I ended up replacing it and got back out towards the end of the evening. I got one more run in that day. And here you can see the shifter decided it wants to move up and down like an inch for some reason. So I had to jerry-rig that and fix that issue. Alright, so we snapped another axle, and actually on the same side as before. So that's not a very good sign. I'm probably definitely going to have to beef up these axles, but I did have a replacement, so I threw it in and drove a little bit more, and it's Sunday now, it's the next day. And today, for some reason, the car is shutting off mid-drift, just like when I try to accelerate. So I'm not sure why it's doing it. I tried resetting the ECU. That didn't do any good, so I've disconnected the turbo. So we're going to try running it NA for a lap and see what that does. At least, hopefully, it'll be drivable. So I'll be able to get some more seat time. So let's give this a shot and see what it does. So the first couple laps without the turbo connected are pretty awful. I had way too much grip in the rear and not enough grip in the front, so I was just understeering all over the place. I ended up fixing that later on, but I struggled with it for a while until I figured that out. So you can tell in this lap how much of a difference the turbo actually makes. Here in this next corner, I put it in third, and with the turbo, it was just hitting rev limiter, just blowing the tires off in third. But here I had to clutch kick multiple times just to try to get it sideways. So yeah, the turbo definitely makes a big difference. So we made it back from the track in one piece. The whole second day we ran without the turbo because for some reason it was shutting off in drift, even though it didn't do that at all the first day. So I don't know why that is. Seems really weird, but I still wanted to drive the car, so I just disconnected the turbo and ran it NA. It was definitely a lot slower. I could barely even do third gear around the long turn, whereas with the turbo, it was just hitting rev limiter in third gear, just blowing the tires off. But all in all, I'd say it was a really good test event. We found out some of the weak points of the car and some other issues that we needed to fix. We added another axle to the scrap pile, and they both broke right at the CV joint that attaches to the diff. It seems like that's a weak spot. And I've actually seen some other E36 guys who have found an aftermarket CV joint that you can put on the stock axle, and then it'll make it stronger and hopefully hold the power. But for now, I think I'm gonna try a clutch delay valve. Everybody in drifting suggests one, and with how aggressive this clutch is, I think it would definitely help. So we're gonna do that first, even though those are about 150 bucks, but that could save a lot of drivetrain components. If I replace those CV joints and make the axle stronger, well, then we're just gonna break the next weakest link. So we're gonna get a clutch delay valve and probably upgrade the axles later. Some of the other things we broke on the car were the diff bolt, the main bolt in the front. It just snapped right off, so then the diff was flopping around, which caused the drive shaft to hit the handbrake line, so we lost our handbrake. Now I need to replace the handbrake lines and probably build a little bit of a shield around them so that if that were to happen again, the drive shaft can't pop a hole in it. And then the other thing was we blew off the power steering high pressure line, which I kind of thought might happen because I just built that line with regular AN stuff. I didn't use high pressure stuff. I planned on replacing it later, but now I definitely need to, so that doesn't happen again and spill power steering all over the track. That's never a good thing. But I think that's about it for damages. We got the turbo all put back together. So now I think we're going to try the electronic throttle body and see if that fixes the shutting off issue. If that doesn't work, I might try a map sensor next since I'm not running one. I've been told you don't need it, but who knows? So if I still can't figure it out, we'll try that. But at the end of the day, we got some seat time in. We turned quite a few laps. I'd say it was probably close to 30 laps, which isn't too bad for a brand new car and not having been able to drive it in almost 2 years. 30 laps felt great. So I'm super grateful for that. Now I just need to get it dialed in and make it more reliable. If I can't get the stock ECU to work, I can always switch to a standalone. I just am trying to avoid spending the money on that so that I can show you guys that there's a more budget way of doing this 2J build. But at the end of the day, if I have to do a standalone to make the car reliable and drivable, then that's what we're gonna do. So that's gonna do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I didn't get a lot of great footage of me drifting. I was so focused on just driving and making the car work. So sorry for that. I'm gonna try to do better in the future, give you guys more camera angles, focus on getting outside angles because I know those are always the best. But we can only go up from here. So make sure you stay tuned for the next one. We've got a lot of fun things in store for the future. Peace out.